Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also, I think from our side, from South Africa's delegation, I'd like to use this opportunity to thank the organizers of this event. I know it's been a few tough days for all the hard work that's gone in through the rain. We just came through our toughest droughts in South Africa, so we don't mind seeing some rain. But I know it's not the easiest thing, obviously, at this stage, with an event like this. But I still think it's been a good event for us. I mean, we're still in the early phase. And what we've seen yesterday with the pen show certainly also makes us proud to be associated with the breed. I think we saw some wonderful cattle. And not that we're surprised. We know the Uruguayans have good cattle. But certainly, if we can in future also get Uruguay to export some semen, I think in South Africa we certainly would value some of the genetics that you guys have, and perhaps we can exchange some of our genetics as well in the future. But again, thanks to the organizers, and we really appreciate the hospitality, I think, from the whole South African delegation. Well, I'm just also going to briefly talk about what we do in South Africa, just focus a little bit on the genetic side. I think that's what it's all about, to understand what people are breeding in a specific country. So I'll go a little bit through that. Obviously, in 8 minutes, you can't bring that much, but hopefully it'll give you a good idea what we are currently doing and where we stand in South Africa. I'd like to start off with, announcing that we celebrate our centenary, or have our centenary anniversary next year in 2017. Now, unfortunately, we had some great world conferences held in South Africa, but money is currently a little bit of a problem. I think with many of the countries with smaller breeds or smaller herds, that might be an issue, but we feel that next year we'd like to have like a mini world conference with a great national show in a beautiful area, the Western Cape, lots of wine. So we're planning a big event, and we've got some pamphlets here. We'd like to have as many international people as possible. You'll find all the good breeders there. You'll find some good cattle, good show, and then I think good hospitality. If you want to make it to South Africa, and I think it's a good way to network with the breeders there if you want to do future business with them. And so please, if you can support us, we certainly would be very grateful. It'll be around the 2nd to the 25th of September, pre and post tours, and then also a good conference with a good symposium, good international speakers that we'll also have there. I think currently South Africa, the breed is still well established. It's still an ideal breed to add value to what we require in South Africa. It certainly meets the current expectations of the South African cattle industry, where 75 to 80% of beef is produced in feedlots. And certainly Hereford and Hereford crosses, unfortunately, they're not enough, but they are certainly favored within that business. They've done exceptionally well. Probably most of our semen has been imported over the years from USA and Canada. I think they've done a good job in marketing themselves, but they do have good cattle. But I think there's lots of opportunities for other countries to also come and market their genetics in South Africa, and certainly I think South African breeders will be very much like to also get more from other countries. It's been one of the first beef breeds to be included in the national genetic evaluations, so we've been progressive in terms of that, where cattle have been done first time genetic evaluations in 1994. Our first whole breed blood analysis has been done in 1995. Currently membership stays fairly stable. It's good to see we rather climbing a little bit than going backwards. Yes, the breeding is not that easy. It's been tough at times in South Africa. We face more than just agricultural conditions, but certainly I think there's still positive signs for Herefords in South Africa. Numbers have increased by 38% since we've had our last conference in 2012 in Canada. So currently it's about 8,700 registered females, and there you can see also on that table how it compares to other breeds in South Africa, which it pretty much competes against, the Braford, the Bonsmara. Both of those have Hereford blood in them. They're both composite breeds, obviously. Sussex, which is, a similar type of beef animal, and then also the Angus. Angus still, more than double the mounts, but I think Hereford's been very popular, even though their mounts might be a little bit less or a bit less than the Angus at this stage. From bulls sold compared to what were represented, we sold about 83%, even in some tough years, with the droughts obviously not being in our favor. Now the average price looks low at $2,000, but remember our rand has deteriorated significantly over the last 6 to 12 months, and if you take that dollar-rand ratio, it looks worse than it is. From a rand point of view, certainly, the prices haven't really decreased, but been fairly stable. Hopefully we can see a rise soon. And we're the highest price, which is quite a significant price. It's the second highest price ever paid in South Africa for a Hereford bull, has been about $13,000. And then there's just for those that are interested in where we're getting our semen from, and how much semen has been imported over the last 4 years since the last conference. Last time I showed you about 5 countries that we've imported from. At this stage, unfortunately, only the USA and Canada have been popular, and I think it lies in many of the other countries' hands also that we can change this, also getting genetics from other countries as well. Then on genetic evaluation, currently it's done by Logix Beef. It's a group of renowned geneticists. We're fortunate to have these people in South Africa that do not just our breed, but many other breeds' expected breeding value estimation. It's updated every 6 months, where breeders then receive herd reports. And so the basis of our genetic evaluation is breeding values, which is, like many of you know, the unit of measurement. And it's relative to the average of animals born in the base year, which is 1990. But there are also additional tools and obviously provided to make it somewhat easier for selection, especially, for example, commercial buyers that might buy bulls from stud breeders, such as breeding value indices. And now those are, or the base of these breeding value indexes is 100, and which is the average of all live animals in the breed. And then all values, then these breeding value indices are expressed in relative to this value of 100. So it just makes the way it's presented a little bit easier, especially for people not dealing with these genetic values every day. And then also, over the last few years, the sub and selection values have been developed to give us further and easier selection tools. Now, those are simply combining expected breeding values of importance into one to make selection easier. For example, you have got an EBV value for cow value, and then one for growth EBV value, and then also production EBV value. So the cow value would be EBVs of importance that are combined, or that are combined and are important for the cow herd. For the growth values are those that are important for feedlot growth, and then the production value are those EBVs not wanting to have them increase. You can see since quite some years ago, in South Africa at least has stayed stable, although our growth has increased significantly. If you look at the weaning weight here, we did see a significant increase in weaning weight. And that's both a combination of milk production that has improved in our cow herds, obviously, and then also growth per se, which is reflected by the post-weaning weight if you look at the graph, this graph. So I think very positive trends in terms of the characteristics we require within our breed. And there you can see the combination of growth and production value also showing a nice positive trend. So I think we feel comfortable that we're heading the right way and still on the right way with our cattle. I think a very important trait that we pride ourselves is that over the last 8 consecutive years, we've been the most fertile breed when it comes to especially intercalving period. Hereford's average intercalving period's been 388 days. In South Africa, if you compare that to a breed which is strong Hereford influence, but certainly also Zebu influence, they've got an intercalving period about 448 days. Genomics in South Africa, although we have not that many numbers, it's something we really want to get involved with, or strong involved with. Genomics or livestock genomics have been introduced in 2012 to South Africa when a bovine genetic consortium was first established, and a task team also is coordinated by the University of Pretoria. Now, a 2-year process then resulted in the establishment of a beef genomic program that's also funded by our government. So it's quite a significant program, and that includes 11 South African beef breeds. Fortunately, Herefords are one of them. The overall aim, obviously, and I think that's with any genomic program, is to build a phenotypic database and also extend the existing database. We are well positioned there, as fortunately our breeders, at least 75%, participate in proper animal recording. Also want to build a database with genotypes, certainly enable us to use genomic selection in future as well. Then also increase overall accuracy of our EBVs, and then certainly promote genetic progress on different levels. Currently, Hereford genotypes to date, well, of the 11 breeds, 2,500 animals have already been genotyped, and for us, the expectation is to have about 285 Herefords genotyped for the 150K chip by 2017. I know that doesn't sound much for countries with much larger herds, but I think it's a good start, and certainly we'd like to, from this conference, also further see if we can't work with other international countries and see if there can't be some kind of a collaboration, hopefully also not just now but also in the future, to kind of link some of our genomic programs together. So the plan is then also to have about 500 chipped by the end of 2019. Just quickly to show you, we have a national championship every 3 years. Yes, I'm almost done, yeah. 2014, so these are our national champion bull and heifer from 2014. Again on your left there, that South African champion has also been the 2015 Hereford champion of Asia and Africa and became third in the world at the event of Fort Worth. And on the right is the current South African Hereford Bull of the Year. He's also been the highest priced Hereford Bull sold this year. This has been the highest priced cow sold in South Africa this year. And just to conclude, I think Hereford in South Africa maintain a great deal of their popularity we enjoyed over the 100 years. We're going through improved phase. Certainly performance testing at least remains high. We continue to improve our negative traits. We do perform excellent in carcass and interbreed competitions. Just a concern is a little bit a slow growth in breeder and cattle numbers, but I think that's a general trend in South African stud breeding. Then also finally, our cow numbers, we'd like to increase them further, but at least there's still a good demand for good Hereford bulls. We need to remain competitive in different genetic evaluation programs, keep up with modern technology, especially genomic programs, even with the challenges we face on that. And I think finally, it's been also said by the Danish delegation now, is that keep the young people interested. Thank you.